Hi, and welcome back to the Positive Prepper. So, what in the world is going on? If you trust true science, you know that the sun and its cycles has a lot to do with our climate. I've talked about that before. But according to the WEF and others, our climate is causing all kinds of problems. But it's your fault. Your fault. Therefore, you should forgo trying to pay the high price for gas and just go out and buy an electric vehicle. Which, by the way, the payment with interest, the way it is, would cost more per month than a mortgage. But while they're telling you that, John Kerry, who has always been saying that the world is going to end because of climate change, has his own private jets, which does not run on solar or wind or electricity, but runs the same as any other jet on fossil fuels. Does it make sense to you? So Biden hasn't actually done it yet. He has not actually declared a national climate emergency, but he is very seriously considering it. But does it make sense that he would do that, taking money away from our military and some very important infrastructure to put towards crisis control, while still sending billions of dollars over to Ukraine to fight for their borders? None of this makes any sense, and I've talked about this before, but I want to go one step further and break it down for you why owning an electric vehicle would not solve the issue, just in case you are still sitting on that fence about what to do. So number one, the cost to charge up your electric vehicle at your home would raise your electric bill more than what it costs to run an air conditioner. So if you're more concerned with running your car than keeping cool in these heat waves, go ahead and buy an electric vehicle. Second, it can take at least 3 hours to fully charge a battery, depending on the battery. Most of the time it takes a lot longer than that. So good luck taking a cross-country trip or even a state-to-state trip. Remember that a fully electric vehicle, with a fully electric vehicle, all of your heat, air conditioning, radio, it all runs on that battery. So if you're in the South where it's super hot and you want to run the air conditioning in your car, that will reduce the number of miles that you can go before you have to charge your vehicle. There are more expensive electric cars that have a much longer range, but that's only if you don't use any other luxuries. It can drop your battery span before it has to be charged can drop 20% just by using heat and defrost in the winter. And I've put the link to this article in the description below if you want to read more about that. And third, if you live in an apartment building, good luck finding a place to even charge your car. How many of you right now could go to a Walmart or a Lowe's or a Home Depot or a regular grocery store and be able to plug in that electric vehicle? Okay. And I've said this before as well. We are not set up for this kind of electricity. And right now, where does that electricity come from that charges those batteries? Fourth, your electric vehicle is typically warranted for 8 years or 100,000 miles. Okay? But if your battery goes dead after that, those batteries cost anywhere from $6,000 to $20,000 to replace that battery. The average lifespan of a car is about 12 years. Okay? So at some point, especially if it's a car that you drive a lot and you have to use your air conditioning or your heat, you want the radio on, the power windows, everything in there is going to drain that battery, charge it up, drain that battery, right? You could end up paying $6,000 to $20,000 for a new battery. Okay? Lastly, do a quick Google search on where the lithium batteries go when they no longer function, and how dead electric cars have to be stored, and the footprint that mining lithium has on the planet. Also, look at what would be needed if you are in the winter, your car runs out of battery on the interstate, and you need a jump. Okay? In one of my previous videos, I talked about how our national infrastructure, and I just mentioned that, is ill-equipped to handle what it would take to run these vehicles. Do I think it will always be that way? No. But right now, the government and the WEF are basically pushing you towards an electric vehicle without having anything in place to handle them. Okay? 65 landfill fires were caused by lithium-ion battery waste. And then think of all, so it's a fire, right? So think of all the pollutants that are going up in the air. But don't fall into that trap. You know, eventually we're all going to have to make a decision. Are we going to pay more for the gas and just be okay with that? Or are we going to go to the electric vehicle because, oh my gosh, it's so much better for the climate, right? But other things to consider. If the climate emergency was real, why do the elites continue to buy up coastal properties? If the oceans are supposedly rising so quickly, right? Why are they buying up still all of this coastal real estate? You would think that if it was real and they had really bought into it, that they would be buying more inland properties, but that's not what they're doing. Why are they still flying their private jets and taking multi-vehicle trains to events? I mean, look at how many vehicles it takes, right? So you get what I'm saying. Don't listen to what they say, watch what they are doing. They themselves are not giving up any of their comforts in the name of climate. And I just want to point out too that and I don't know, but I would be really interested to find out if people like Nancy Pelosi run their house on solar panels, or do they run it on electricity like some of the rest of us, right? Same with John Kerry. Does his house run on wind and solar, or does his house run on electricity just like everybody else? Because if it does run like everybody else on just your mainstream electricity, again, watch what they do, not what they say. And here's another point to consider. China makes over 76% of lithium-ion batteries and 75% of solar panels and almost all of the world's wind turbines. So who is getting rich from going green, and who would control our energy if we went green? Are these some of those backdoor deals that were done by Joe's son? I don't know. I want to go now to farmers. Farmers are no doubt feeling the effects of the droughts and the heat that is gripping pretty much all of the United States and the world. But because of the green push, some countries are telling farmers to get rid of 50% of their livestock because of methane gas. And you've seen in some countries around the world where the farmers, in the one country, I can't remember which one, but the tractors were all lined up. They were protesting all of this stuff, right? As they should be, because it's BS. But you have to remember that all of this is because of the UN's 2030 agenda. They want to control the food, and this is why they are targeting farmers and Amish. So some of these Amish farms are having to give up selling milk and meat and other products from their own farms. Well, why is that? Well, the USDA wants a cut of sales. So they come up with BS climate excuses as to why private farmers can't sell their goods. At some point, farmers' markets will be targeted. They're still allowed now, at least in our area, but they will come up with some excuse as to why every bit of food has to go through their agency before it can be sold on any type of market. So watch for that. I don't know if it's going to happen for sure, but that's my opinion. And this is why knowing how to barter will be so vital. There may come a day when free trading of food becomes part of a black market. I know that sounds crazy. I'm wearing my tinfoil hat right here for everybody to see. But the push for the bogus end of the world due to climate change is only in place because they want to control the food and thus control the world. And that's just my opinion. Now, I want to tie up some loose ends. So, Kimberly Brinkman, if you're watching this, ESP James has declined the book. This must be a book that nobody really wants. If you want it, if you want it sent to someone that you know, send me an email at positiveprepper@gmail.com with the address, and I will send this out. Now, if you don't want it, I do know some people personally that I will send this to. So it's okay. I found a lot of value in it. But, so Kimberly Brinkman, if you want the book, send me an email at positiveprepper@gmail.com with the address that you want it sent to. And I will get that out in the mail. Now, in the other video that I did where I asked the question about the most useless thing that you have in your prep gear, right? Maybe somebody said you should have this, but you don't really see the need for it. Sharon Asp, you are the winner of the Brita water bottle and the jar of honey, as you were the only one who commented on that video. Again, send me either your address or the address you want it sent to at positiveprepper@gmail.com. If you guys have ideas of items that you would like to see in a free giveaway, please let me know and I'll do my best to get them. All of this comes out of my own pocket, but I do these videos and these giveaways to help those who may not be able to get these things. Okay? So anything that I can do to help people in their prepping is really worth it to me. So, congratulations to Sharon on the Brita and the honey. In my next video, I will have another question and I will have another free giveaway. So keep your eyes out for that. And that one I'm going to be I'm hoping to be able to go back to my dry erase board again. There are some connections that I want to make between the United States, China, Russia, Iran, and Israel, and how all of this is how there's a lot of, oh, they're bad, but we're doing this on the side, and oh, they're bad, but we're doing this on the side. But I want to do that on the dry erase board because I think you guys really like it when I do that. And I think it helps me separate out the information and really clarify it. So that will be either in the next video or the one right after that, and I will have another free giveaway. So look for that. As always, stay safe, stay aware, and God bless.